Big deep breath, maximum stay from mark, might be like up. Yo. No predictions or prophecies, just scriptures and mythologies. No instructions in the Odyssey. Inhale, exhale logically, part of the tribe. Earn my stripe, home with the pack. Long dark night, poison darts, long blow pipes. I take aim at the moon shines bright. Entered this jungle as a student. I was acting humble and prudent, practicing to become fluent in a sacred tribal movement. Master arts the shamans using, elevating to more than a human. Raise the vibes so the hate's reducing. Absorb the light the sun's producing. Air's electric, feeling the charge of thunder. Dark foreboding, sky we got under. Hectic, in the presence of wonder. Open your eyes, awake from the slumber. Life is a prey, act like a hunter. Enter the battle, emerge from the bunker. It is the rain dance, I am the drummer. Dance in the rain, it's a stormy summer, look yonder. To the hills and valleys that mankind wander. Brave in the storm, searching for honor. Allegiance sworn, command and conquer. Seize the moment, and you'll get drenched with the heavens of open. Draw for the power, more than potent. Keep on moving. I'm live in the belly of the beast. I stand firm and steady on my feet. Still inclined to write a little piece of that word on the street you're still trying to release. I spit fire, heavy on the beat. Training's done, ready, complete. I'm prepared to stare in the eyes of defeat, then stand up tall to the Babylon fleet. There's a power inside me, like a force of nature. Disregarding imminent danger. Whipping up a storm, the destruction's major. Different form with the awesome flavour. Babylon agent, now I'm in our cater. Exit agreement, place now wager. Since days of the parchment paper, they search for the saviour. This is a system test. Adjust your parameters. Corrupt, scandalous, life uncrude and amorous. Are you a victim? Yeah. Cameras flash, they dazzle us. You can't predict threat. Of a flow so deep and cavernous, deep and hazardous, with incredible length and wide diameters. Not your average maverick. Locked your 16s, leave them staggering like a sick dream in the mind of a sick teen. When Freddy come daggering, I spray like whipped cream in the face of a clown for imagining they could ever come a challenge, and I leave them spinning in my slipstream. It's not happening. This is a system test, no routine system check. Keep your eyes on the screen, but it's lies on the screen. Check for the imminent threat. This is a system test, no routine system check. You gotta stay switched on so your wisdom's blessed, and look for the crack with the system stretched. Double L 2020. Welcome to the roaring 20s. The slumbering lion has awoken. Double LMC. One, two. Good evening, guys. How's it going? Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, abstract. Big shout out to everyone tuned in on this rerun tonight. The reason I'm doing these reruns, guys, is because now it's like 3 weeks until RA-Tr33t. It's getting really, really close. So I am going to be broadcasting material from the archives as many nights as I can, basically. I want to get as much Rise Above material out there, create as much of a buzz as we can for the upcoming event, and also give you guys a chance to check in with each other, a chance to start getting really excited, exchange information about getting tents and stuff like that. Anything you haven't sorted out, we're going to be broadcasting as many nights as we can. And I've also got some exciting stuff to talk about as well very quickly before we start the rerun. As you probably saw in the last little video I played, we have now released the activities, the pre-booked activities at RA-Tr33t. They're going up on the website tonight. I'm just going to put them here. So let's just put these full screen. On Friday evening, we are having the the Woodland School is offering this one for the kids. Woodland crafts and games, children's bushcraft, den building, storytelling and drama play, green woodwork and whittling, access to the Woodland playground, primitive tool making, tug of war, bug hotels. It's £10 an hour for children, 3 hours for £20. This starts at 3 o'clock. So as soon as you get to RA-Tr33t and you've put your tent up, if you want to come and meet everyone and you want someone that's qualified and a Woodland teacher to look after the kids with some guided activities, this one's for you, whether it's an hour or the whole 3 hours if you want to unload them and come and say hello to everyone. And then from 6 till 8, the Woodland School are also running a Woodland cinema for the kids, which is only £1 per child. We tried to get these prices as reasonable as we could. Blankets and sleeping bags are essential. They'll have some hot chocolate, watch a film, under the stars. Don't know if the stars will be out by 8 o'clock. But yeah, that's so they've got some, got something to do while you're at the welcome event. So this is all really tailored, if you've got youngsters 5+ that need looking after while you come and say hello to everyone. Then on the Saturday, we're also running the same children's activities again from 10 o'clock in the morning right up until 3:30. And also, this is what everyone's really excited about, the survival and bushcraft training, fire lighting and natural tinder, knots and shelter building, tree ID and natural navigation and tools of the trade, axe throwing and carving. Right now, these activities are for adults and older children. This all must be pre-booked, guys. The details are on the screen and the details are also in the description to this video. It's Chloe at the thewoodlandschooldorset at gmail.com, 07540091459. So remember, Friday and Saturday activities. Saturdays for the adults with the bushcraft and survival, and older children too. Friday, like I've said here, we've got all these activities covered in the Woodland School and the Woodland Cinema running until 8 o'clock. So this is what I wanted to let everybody know about this evening. This was the announcement, and this will be going up on the website in the next couple of days. And also the welcome pack is being posted out to everyone that's bought a ticket so far. So if you're wondering where your information is, bear with us. It's coming out in the next couple of days. You're going to get an email with a site map, detailed instructions how to get to the site, all of this stuff that I've just gone through now. And you can always pause the screen if you want to get in there and start booking stuff. And also, don't forget, on the website right now, as we speak, we have the full schedule of the free activities which are included in the ticket price. So the idea is you see what you want to do here, and then you book your Woodland survival training around these activities here. Okay, so see what's going on the Saturday. See whether you want to do a meme workshop, some guided breathing with toroidal dynamics, yoga with Victoria, some foraging, etc. And then you book your Woodland School stuff around that. Okay, so guys, let me just play one more little ad to get you in the mood for RA-Tr33t.
No, you won't catch me on a television. Screw the government and the nepotism, spewing out bullshit, but I'll never listen. Rise above, that's more my place. 9 PM we go live each Friday. Smooth and harder than granite. Alma beats, Lance, Andy and Magics. Don't forget Master Lee, we go into subjects you can't believe. A conscious shock will be leaving you speechless. You'll be finding it hard to speak. We digest, manifest, through memes we predict what happens next. Like decoded a tarot deck, I'm reveling the occult and the Baphomet. It's there for you to see. If you ain't got the eyes to see it, don't complain to me. Together we're united if we only choose to be. The writing's on the wall, so let them make their move on me. The writing's on the wall, it's there for you to see. If you ain't got the eyes to see it, don't complain to me. Together we're united if we only choose to be. The writing's on the wall, so let them make their move on me. The writing's on the wall. Opposing covert forces, you on the other hand only endorse it. Catch RA-Tr33t, only endorse it. You know where to come when draconian war hits. This ain't a scare tactic, I really wish that things were less drastic. If you abide by the mass formation psychosis, then you'll end up a captive, a slave to the system. So hand over your rights, then blame like a victim. The supply chain's now seized up, so they're promoting people that eat bugs. Go do the research rather than making decisions at a knee jerk. If we go along with a collective, this reality will have ended. It's there for you to see. If you ain't got the eyes to see it,
20 years when everybody has to wear a biometric bracelet which constantly monitors your blood pressure, your heart rate, your brain activity, 24 hours a day. You listen to a speech on the radio by the great leader, and they know what you actually feel. You can clap your hands and smile, but if you're angry, they know you'll be in the gulag tomorrow morning.
Big shout to Rise and Shine on that one. Okay, guys, so this is a random rerun in the run-up to RA-Tr33t, and I said that all in one go. I got it right the first time. I went through the archive, and I picked out this one. It's 33 minutes long. I will play something else afterwards, but we'll start with this. This is called A Midnight Chat with Master Lee. Let's roll.
Well, it's all based on that we're born into creation, and we have a duty to figure out why we're here and what we're going to do with it. So it goes back to the trivium, the three aspects, the what, the why, and the how of existence in creation, working as a co-creator with the larger, you can call it many things, but let's say the larger reality. So the job is to work on what you can do, which is on a micro level. So it's very local, as in 2 meters to start with, or even 1 meter within our own atmosphere. So the teaching that I give is mainly geared around that, and the ability to transform your local reality. The way I was taught is that you want to have aims and intentions big enough to put in your pocket. If you go too ambitious, as in you're trying to fix everything, then it's difficult, because we can't have direct realism of that, or we can't obtain first principles. So as without, so within, we all contain a universe within us. So that includes everything from the atmosphere, the sun, the moon, the planets, the stars. It's all within us. So as an example, when the mainstream or the education system tries to tell us something that's very distant, we can actually get direct realism of it within. So even something like the global warming or climate problems and issues, well, they're generally talking about the atmosphere and pollution and toxins. Well, on a micro level, that would be being able to deal with toxic or toxins or things that come in or things that try to usurp our ability to function and to in the pursuit of happiness, which is something that I mentioned. What you'll find is that I do kind of drip feed things because it's a very big subject. So I could actually tell you everything in one go, but it would just be too much. It would be like filling up the cup.
You've kind of been drip feeding us, but in a good way, if you don't mind me saying. There's certain aspects, certain phrases, certain terminology which you've slowly introduced to us, and I've noticed this because obviously I had a bit of a precursor to it, because, you know, like I said in my videos, you've been mentoring me for a little while, on and off, before you chose to come on the show. I was trying to get you on it for ages for all of our new viewers that haven't heard the story of how you joined the team.
Yeah.
Can I say, Master Lee, when Lance told me about you, when he said you were going to come on the show, he's really excited.
Mate, I was coming my pants about it. I've been trying to get this dude on the show for absolutely ages, and he always made a real point of saying, listen, I want to provide guidance, I want to offer help where I can. And, you know, if you don't mind me saying, Lee, the reason you initially approached me, I believe, is because you said you were going to start coming under attack. Yeah. This is when I was really hammering it with the Soviet Union halfway through last year. Let's think, when did this really start? I mean, I think, did you approach me before the Serco thing happened?
I think it's just after.
Probably just, it would make sense that it was just after that. So that would have been...
Was that your tipping point? The Serco speech? It
was my tipping point of realising that I had the ability to some level to actually make a bit of a difference. Before that, I thought, and a lot of people obviously accused me of just doing this for likes and stuff, and I
T-shirt sales.
Yeah, well, back then nobody even wanted a T-shirt. There was only one. It was the one that I was wearing. But back then, you know, I would just thought, well, I just want to be on record that I'm trying to do the right thing
But yeah, Lee contacted me, and the first thing he said is, "Listen, you are stepping on some toes, or whatever analogy you used, and you're going to come under attack." And I was like, "Whoa, okay." And I knew Lee from the combat sports martial arts world. I knew about, a little bit about his prestige and everything in MMA and martial arts. And I was like, okay, right. And I obviously knew he's a close protection specialist, right? Well, okay. Are you offering your services? And he's like, no, I just want to give you some advice about non-physical protection. And that really, I made the video. And, you spoke to me 2 or 3 times, and I made the first video, non-physical protection, and it was actually quite well received, because I was just stood in an alley around the back of Happy Buddha before buying a pendulum, talking about what many people would consider quite paranoid, weird stuff. Let's be real about it,
Well, I think
People
we can all sense that. I mean, I really don't like the term "the Great Awakening," but
it's been hijacked. All good things that come from a good idea have been hijacked.
Even in the back to first principles, the term "the Great Awakening" that implies division, because that implies some people are awake and some people are asleep. That means it's a divide, it's duality.
Yeah, but it's almost inevitable, because we're living in a realm of division. We've got 3 forces for a start, and we are under many laws, and this is part of the problem. You need to understand what the laws are and how to transform, or I wouldn't say break the laws, but bend the laws to the advantage of your progress. Now, the caller that was earlier, Mr. Dangerous, or Dan.
Dangerous, yeah. So that was so good to hear from him. Someone that had the procedure. So good.
Double speared.
Dangerous. So sorry for losing the connection. If you're still listening, thank you for calling, mate.
Yeah, that was a very important call, because it was almost like a conscious shock that you're gonna have people that have gone for the procedure, but they still follow a certain path of truth or enlightenment. Okay, so, and this is a prime example of a full spectrum. So we've got 7.5 billion people, or whatever it is, on the planet, or in the realm, or even in the crater. Everybody's going to have slightly different experiences. Everybody's going to have different ways of navigating or wandering around the realm. We're not all going to be the same. And that was a classic example of a kind of contradiction. But let's face it, we're all under the law of contradiction. I said, I think it was even on the first time I was on the show, that I did mention, we've all been genetically modified in this lifetime and previous. And
those first 2 times you came on the show, I had to break that down into 8 different sections.
What do you mean in previous lifetimes, Lee?
Well, I could say in terms of our parents, our ancestors,
okay.
Reincarnation. There's many.
The Sumerian tablets, the genetic manipulation that's detailed on there that happened like hundreds of thousands of years ago, apparently.
Master Lee, I'd like to touch on something. A glimmer of hope, actually, for anyone.
Yeah, we like to end on positive thoughts for the final thoughts on the show every week.
Master Lee, you did say right at the start, when you started coming on Rise Above, you said that their human augmented technology, whatever they want to do, this nanotech, whatever it is, their smart city, Internet of Things, all of it, all of Klaus Schwab's psychopathic tech Silicon Valley vision,
his deepest, darkest tech hard on,
is no match for our organic technology,
no match,
which we're naturally given at birth,
and
which we develop.
Yeah. Now,
so long as we're not too corrupted, I'm talking about the soul. Obviously, we have to develop a soul, but that's what I'm saying. Their tech their man-made electrical tech is no match for our organic tech if you develop the soul in the correct way over a period of time from birth.
Yeah, and it takes time. It's excuse me, it takes time. It's organic. Anything organic takes time. Anything that's artificial is often quicker. Now, we can see there's an artificial consensus being drafted in very quickly, and we can witness every day how quick it was to actually do this, to pull this off. So it's a very good direct example of direct realism that we can experience on a day-to-day basis. This is not myth, this is not legend, this is not a belief system. We can just open our eyes and look at what we see and play out in front of us. And that makes it a very amazing time to actually be incarnated in this realm in creation.
A very special time indeed.
Yeah, and I know this sounds cheesy, but things like gratitude is very important. It's very important to be grateful, however bad it may seem in this realm at this time. I also like to remind people, and I think I mentioned it last week or the week before, that if you look at other incarnations in previous times, it's been bad in different ways, maybe more physically. I would say this is definitely a psychological coup d'etat, which was the origins of Inner Gardens, and which goes back to Lance's original question, the sort of teachings that I give. Well, that's basically it. It's how to deal with the psychological, emotional aspects of personal protection, which has been neglected by the self-defense personal protection world.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me just asking you to expand on one aspect of this, what was it, for the new viewers that haven't heard the story and haven't seen it from episode 17 onwards when you joined the team, what was it that made you make the decision to take the transition from your own words, staying in the shadows and mentoring me and trying to help me with my mental fortress for what was coming? What made you make the decision to come on the show and eventually join the team?
What was your tipping point?
Because for new viewers, you come on camera as well. You're not an anonymous member or anything. You're on Grey Ops tonight.
Yeah. It was actually in 2019. I had a lot of kind of premonitions. It was actually when I was in Russia. I had a lot of premonitions with regards to like a quickening. I was just getting download after download of a sense of urgency and a kind of real sense of a terror situation. So we've all been in a situation where we've been like frightened or scared, or something's made us really scared. I had that sort of vibration literally all the time, and for many years I've been studying in occulted groups, esoteric groups, which is it's all nice and cozy because you're hidden away, nobody knows. It's almost like you live a double life. Well, when I had this sense of the terror of the situation that was coming, even though I didn't fully understand what was going to happen in 2020, and there was a few people I spoke to about this. I said I need to start speaking out, but I don't know where to start. I don't know, where is the starting point? Where do I start from? So moving on to 2020, obviously things unraveled, and I was listening to a lot of people speaking out on YouTube and various other sources, and it was when I started listening to it wasn't called Rise Above then. I think it was it called Rise Above from the beginning?
It was called, my label was always Rise Above, but the series was called Coviet 1984. That was the first series of videos that I made that was laying all this out. That have all recently been deleted.
Your umbrella is Rise Above.
Rise Above is
that contains all of it. The Pizzagate stuff, the Coviet 1984 series.
Rise Above is the whole media label, but we didn't start
including all of your vlogs.
Yeah, the live show only started when I got basically confined to the studio because of my bail conditions.
And me and you got our Facebook deleted simultaneously.
Before that, I was out on the streets speaking at protests every week. I basically had a UK tour of speaking lined up for the whole goddamn country before that happened. So, we made the live station, and then I clocked you were constantly listening in, and you were in the comment section, and I was like, oh, wow. Because I'd obviously, after you contacted me, I'd gone and watched some of your videos that at that point had very few views. And I'm like, whoa, this guy is saying something quite profoundly deep here that most people, this would probably go over most people's head. And he's just saying this on YouTube, and it's got like 50 views. I was like, I said to Andy, we need to showcase this dude immediately, but he won't come on the show. But then you said a line has been drawn in the sand, didn't you?
Well, going back to 2019.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah, so 2020, I was listening to various different platforms, and some were very abstract, some were way off the mark. But when I started listening to the stuff that you were putting out, I thought, right, so this guy's got his feet on the ground, he's practical, he's talking about the subjects that all the other groups are not even touching. But you also spoke of metaphysical things. And that was kind
Is
of
this from the first series of videos from COVID, or when we started to do the live show? Are you talking about?
I think it was before. I think it's when you did, because you kind of.
In the
put it this way,
speeches,
I got the gist. Yeah, I got the
speeches,
gist.
I talked about the fact that this goes outside of the physical realm. I'd alluded to that in my speech, and I'd started talking about the vibrational nature of the realm.
I'm sorry to interject, guys. You started your speech, Lance. You started it with the words, and this is very profound. We're at war with an ancient evil.
Oh mate, that's still mate.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like I even wrote that.
Those were
mate,
the
it's
words.
making the hairs on the back of my neck stand.
We're
I'm
at
just
war
thinking
with
about
an
that.
ancient evil.
That has worn many different uniforms throughout history and gone by many different names.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
Well, part of my education in terms of esoteric groups is kind of, I'd say, on the Gnostic spectrum with the demiurge and stuff like that.
That's how I relate as well.
Yeah. So, for me, it's not a problem to see that there is bad intentions out there by those that have usurped power over us, or relative power over us. So that's not an issue for me. And this was one of the issues that I did have when I was listening to some of the other platforms, that they were very much kumbaya, rainbows and
love and light, positive thinking will overcome all.
Yeah.
I've always tried to avoid that.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in action. That all of these things are well and good.
Be honest,
if it's a
guys.
precursor
You're not going to meditate your way out of a fight, are you?
The plug, this guy's channel is called Inner Guardians. It's on the screen now. Inner Guardians on YouTube. All of Master Lee's teachings are there, documented in full. He barely skims the edge of the rabbit hole when he comes on this show. Believe me, if you want to listen to his teachings in full, it's all documented on his station, Inner Guardians.
Yeah, and what I've tried to do, I've tried to condense information, and this is something that any instructor or teacher of self-defense or personal protection will have to do. So, for instance, you could study karate, jiu-jitsu, ninjutsu for 20 years. Well, for the most part, most people don't have 20 years to learn self-defense. It has to be a quick fix, and you're not going to have the finesse or fine motor skills to pull off stuff in a self-defense situation. Well, when 2020 came, for me, I realized that humanity is in a self-defense position. So we don't have time for 20 years of studying very deep, profound,
no time
abstract, esoteric knowledge. So what I try to do, to the best of my ability, is to use the knowledge that I have or had, and getting, because it's not a done deal. You know, the first principle of gnosis is that you don't know everything. Until you can admit that, you'll never know anything.
Sorry, Lee, that's the difference between not knowing unwillingly and willing ignorance.
I willingly want to find out how little I know.
Okay.
My quest is to find out. If I know how much little I know, then I know there is more to find out.
That's the difference.
That is the quest of knowledge. That's anti-ignorance.
You think gnosis means knowledge? Okay. If you have no, it doesn't. It means that you're unwillingly not knowing.
Yeah. I've studied this time.
Whereas
this kind of
ignorance is choosing. You're choosing to be ignorant. If the writing's on the wall by the government and they are telling you what they're doing, and you're willingly choosing to ignore it and look the other way and say no, they wouldn't possibly do that. That is ignorance. That you're choosing to ignore that willingly.
You know, I was about to say
from free will, guys. Free will.
I spent roughly half the amount of years that Master Lee has done studying the occult and these type of teachings, and obviously from a very different viewpoint. I've been very lucky to have some experiences and get involved in some practices that have probably provided me a bit of a shortcut to understanding the metaphysical, rather than spending an extra 2 decades with teachers and with senseis and gurus, as I'm sure you have on your travels in the Guardians. So yeah, you took it up to 2020 when you came across Rise Above, and you started obviously contacting me, and you started in the comment section when we first started going live, when I got confined to the studio. In the Guardians.
Lost in the Guardians.
Look at that. We just lost in the Guardians. We need you back. This is in the Guardians section. Come back, please.
Whoa. We've never lost in the Guardians.
No, not now. Look, we've got rid of the echo. Now the denying force presents the next problem. Just drops out. I tell you what, though, we were getting deep there, isn't it? Because we have to do this because we have a lot of new viewers, and not everyone has got like 20 or 30 hours or a week, like Here he
There we
is.
go,
He's
straight
straight
back
back in. Yeah, because we're getting to the juicy part of the story.
Right.
So yeah, you're back right above.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem. So 2020, you came across my work, thought, yeah, this guy's talking the metaphysical stuff.
Yeah, I asked my pendulum, not my physical pendulum, but my inner pendulum, and it gave me the green light. And I had actually spent quite a bit of my life being targeted from physical and non-physical, and I was getting that you needed some advice on certain aspects. And to this day, I still think that some of the information that I've told you has actually protected you.
Mate, it undoubtedly has. And if you don't mind, and I'll just ask you, do you remember one of the first stories that you told me that I mentioned, I roughly mentioned in the video, is about hexing and an experience that happened to you about an actual physical attack? Would you mind talking about that? Do you remember you told me about the random person that got up behind you once? You right to talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, please share that.
Right, so that was at a time when I was actually really going deep into the whole concept of hexing. For those that don't know, hexing basically means that you get a target put on you, physically or non-physically, and often it's both. So you could be hexed by an entity, whatever you want to call it, demon, something from a different dimensional realm.
Energy.
Yeah. So it could be a psychic parasite. There's many different names for it.
So to be clear, Lee, it's not like some witch woman in a hood, in a gown over a cauldron, doing a spell to put a hex on someone. That's not what you're talking about.
No, it can be. It can be a direct.
Yeah, of course it can be. But what you're saying is this could be a whole different non-physical entity just choosing to pick on your aura.
Yeah, we're surrounded by parasites. We're surrounded by parasites. Surrounded by parasites all of the time. It's just that for the most part we can't see them because they're slightly of a different dimension or different ray of creation. But we're completely surrounded by them.
Different ray of creation.
Yeah. So what they generally do, they'll feed on your energy. Now the problem is that they're everywhere and everybody has them to the degree that we can't see them. So you have to go through a process where you basically unplug them one by one. And they can be something as simple as taking out a mobile phone contract, as an example.
You told me about breaking contracts, didn't you?
Yeah. So every contract you make, knowingly or unknowingly, it will plug you in to the matrix, would probably be a good way to describe it. So if you want to be free from all of that, you go through a process where you unplug them, which is it's literally a lifetime of unplugging, and you do it on a daily basis, the same way that you brush your teeth or you wash your hair and have a shower. You have to get rid of the dirt. So it's the same thing with these contracts, and so some are just random, some are accidental, some are hereditary. We will have contracts that were made by our parents that it's known as like the sins of the fathers or whatever, from ancestors. Also cultural ones, so they can be country specific. It's like I say, it's a lifetime of unplugging from these. Now, when you unplug, it means that you start to power up. Now, when you power up, you get access to extra senses or higher senses, which is also personal protection. We're generally all born with 5 senses, but we've actually got a lot more. I mentioned last week about inner tuition as an example.
Inner tuition.
Yeah. So I often teach people from the perspective that they already know, they just can't remember. So there's generally 2 ways to teach somebody. You either assume they know nothing and you kind of just give them information, or you assume that they already know, they've just forgotten. Well, I operate on the latter. So I try to prompt, provoke, and remind people of what they already know. And people often have the experience of I already knew that. But they can't remember how they know it. So when you start to unplug, you get more senses, you get more energy, you get more awareness. So because of that actually prevents you getting extra plugins. So you start to go on an ascending spiral as opposed to a descending.
Yes.
some people may use the term gravity, although personally I don't believe in gravity. I go more with density and buoyancy in terms of being heavy, which gives you the real meaning of enlightenment. It doesn't mean to say that it's light. It just means that you're lighter.
Whoa.
So that's something to consider.
Whole rabbit.
I've kind of gone on a bit of a tangent. So
No, the tangent.
I
I need to rein you back into the story that you first told me, because you said something quite profound a minute ago. You said that some of the things you taught me early on before you joined the team, you said have no doubt helped me and probably protected me from some non-physical attacks.
Yeah.
That physical attack that you told me about, when you told me about hexing, you said you were walking your dog down an alleyway, and you, as a personal protection specialist.
No. This is a different one. The one that I mentioned about, right? Okay, so
the guy that you thought was hexed. This is the story I'm talking about.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I'll make it as condensed as possible because I think my battery's going to run out.
And stop tangent.
Right.
No,
okay,
Master Lee, I've got another question to ask you about this as well. So
save that.
Right.
Plug your battery in.
Right. Let me just do this. Right. So, one technique of hexing is for somebody to touch you. You have to be very, very careful who comes within 2 meters of you. And also you've got to be very, very careful who touches you, because the quickest way to be hexed is when somebody touches you. And that can mean tap you on the shoulder, shake your hand, pat you on the back. We call it that sort of thing, jumpers. So one hex can jump. Sorry, you can be hexed by one of these entities jumping from one person to another.
So basically
like
someone could be hexed, and when they touch you, then you've got their hex.
Yeah.
Like a contagion. Like an actual fucking virus.
They can be an agent, or they can be an unknowing agent.
Yeah.
They could also be a victim.
Yeah.
It's very, very complicated. Well, anyway, I'll speed it up. So, as an example, right, to get the gist of this, I was walking down the street by myself, and I saw this guy walking towards me, and he looked like he was in a trance. And I thought, he hasn't seen me, but it's broad daylight, and there's only me and him walking down the street, and he was coming in the opposite direction. Anyway, he kind of steered towards me and bumped me on the shoulder. And, I said, excuse me. And he just carried on walking like he was in a trance. Anyway, I didn't think too much of it. Then a week later, I was actually walking along. It was with my son, not my dog. And
oh, sorry, I thought it was dog.
No, I was doing all the things wrong. I was doing all the things I don't teach people to do. So I was walking along with my head down, hood up, because it was in winter. And then all of a sudden, somebody hit me from behind, and it was a guy on a bicycle. He carried on going, and I was a bit angered by this because he hit me quite hard on the back and cycled off. Anyway, I shouted out something like I don't know, like you fucking wanker or something. Yeah. He slammed on the brakes, threw his bike down, and come running at me, and he had his face covered in he was wearing a mask. Now this was in about 2018, so it was way before people were wearing masks, but he had a mask on. He came running towards me, and I thought, oh, here we go. So I said to my son, stand back. And he looked like he was hypnotized. He was in a trance, and he kept on trying to get near to me to attack me. And I put my hands up, pushed him back. And then I said to him, you sure about this? And
you're drinking at the last chance saloon.
And then,
your weapons.
I was actually quite surprised because I very rarely get attacked physically.
Well, you're a big guy, Master Lee.
Yeah. So I was actually quite surprised by this. He took me by surprise. He kept on lunging at me, and I was sort of sidestepping him. And then I thought, it's now or never. I'm going to have to pull the trigger on this. So, long story short, I punched him. I knocked him out cold. Luckily for him, his head hit the grass, not the concrete. I think he would have been in a coma if he'd hit the concrete because he was unconscious before he hit the ground. And me being an empath and generally a good guy, I put him in a recovery position.
As you do after you've knocked someone clean out very efficiently with one strike.
But Master Lee was very in tune with natural law, right?
Absolutely, he had to defend himself.
One-shot defense. No more, nothing needed, and then helped his assailant afterwards.
Well, I went one better. I went one better than that because his phone, his keys, and his money all fell out of his jogging bottoms. So that was all scattered everywhere. So I picked it all up. put it in a nice pile next to him. And then he started to come round. He tried to get up. I said, look, mate, stay down. You've just been knocked out. Just relax a little bit. And then I looked at my son and I said, do you know what? I think we should make a move. Because I know when somebody gets knocked out, they lose about 15 minutes of memory. So I thought, he's never going to remember who I am or whatever. So I said, look, let's go. He's obviously okay. Because at first I thought I might have killed him. So we just went on our way. Anyway, that's kind of what happened in that situation. But it was a very good reminder for me that A, anybody can be attacked at any time.
Yeah.
B, I believe it was connected to the first person that hexed me the week before.
That's what I'm getting at.
And what did you say when you, just before the physical attack happened, you said you were doing everything that you wouldn't normally do. You're walking along, not being, not checking your peripheral vision, not checking your six or whatever. You had your hood down. Yeah. That's not personal protection styly. So you could say you were out of sorts. You weren't acting like yourself.
There's a very important point that I forgot to mention. It's almost unbelievable. Right. The next day, I was due to do a self-defense seminar. So I'd spent all week preparing this seminar on self-defense. Now, what I also realized is that I created that situation. Because I was thinking so intensely about self-defense that I actually manifested it. So be careful what you think.
Wow.
Be careful where you place your attention.
Consciousness pervades matter.
Yes. Yeah. And matter is indifferent. So matter didn't care whether I got attacked. Matter manifested what I was thinking, where I was placing my attention. Now, when I realized that, that was when the penny dropped about non-physical personal protection. So be careful what you think. Be careful what voices or the dialogue that you have in your mind or in your subconscious. Because I was literally day and night, I was thinking about self-defense.
So you think you might have metaphysically manifested a literal self-defense scenario?
Or was that...
Because think about it, that's a perfect scenario if you're going to teach your students. I was walking along, looking at the floor, someone attacked me from behind, and then I was faced with a scenario of...
Do you know what? Do you know what springs to my mind initially from your story, Lee?
Sure. Yep.
Might have been a lesson to your son.
Well, I did actually have a go at him because I said, "Did you film it?" He said, "No." I was like, "Damn, that would have been really good."
But I'm saying, but if you look at it, if you look at your empathy,
I'd love to play that on Rise Above.
Look at your empathy. Look at your empathy for someone who tried to cause you harm.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't catch him before he hit the floor.
When you were with your child, yeah, you put him in the recovery position afterwards. You know, and
well, yeah, it's a very good point that you just made, because when we walked away, right, actually, with that particular son, he doesn't want to train at all in personal protection or martial arts or anything. He's completely not interested. He doesn't even want to do a press up. He's completely not interested in that side of things.
That might have been a little nudge from the universe for him.
Well, I said to him, walking away, I said, "Look, you see, you've witnessed it. This is direct realism for you, that anybody can be attacked."
Direct realism, thank you. You're the only ever person I have heard use that terminology that I've come across.
Yeah, so that was really good for him to see. I says, "I'm really..." Because at first, I said to him, "I'm really sorry you had to witness that," because he was actually in shock. I said, "I'm really sorry you had to witness that." And then I said, "Actually, no, it's good that you saw that, because now you know what this realm is like."
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, yeah, I'm still here. I am going to put something else on for you. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a late night chat with Inner Guardians. Don't forget, the reason we are broadcasting tonight is to let everybody know about RA-Tr33t. The 9th to the 11th of September, tickets are available now, £66 for adults, £33 for children. Day tickets are available too. There are 6 van passes left, and we have now released the pre-booked activities with the Woodland School for children and adults, involving bushcraft survival, axe throwing, carving, woodland storytelling, den building, green woodwork and whittling for kids. Loads of stuff going on, yeah. And this is all pre-bookable. The details are in the description. Big shout to admins all tuned in. So let's see, what should we have next? Let me just have a look at the archive here. I'm live on air. I did come across something that I wanted to play. Right above videos. Other RA vids. No, there was a good one. Here we go. Yeah, this is a gem which I found. This is called RA Afghanistan. I don't know how many episodes ago this was, but I came across this edit the other day. It's about 50 minutes long, so this will play us out. Yeah, reruns on the run up to RA Treat. We are building as much excitement as we can. Tickets are still available. www.riseabove.tv. I can tell you now, the head count of the event is way over 350 people already, including all staff and vendors and artists and artists. Okay, right, so this one is called, this is from the archive. This is Rise Above does Afghanistan and the Taliban Kabul incident. Saturday. Tonight, this little thing I've prepared here, all this is going to do is actually break down or put on the table what we've been shown about what apparently happened this week, because I don't know what's going on in Afghanistan. I'm not there with an omnipresent view. All I know is what they've showed me, right? So so
let me just say one thing before we start this.
No problem.
Right, now from the occulted perspective, Afghanistan is actually one of the most important places in the crater.
That's where the mystery schools were.
Yeah.
Or are.
So all of this knowledge that has come to me and to many others apparently originates in places in Afghanistan. So there's obviously more to Afghanistan than
I think than oil and opium.
Well, I think there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more.
/ lithium.
There's some. I think there's some original source, information from that area.
Do you think that's still there, though, or do you think that was what the invasion of Afghanistan was about? They've destroyed all the artifacts and all the.
It might not be a physical thing. I think it's an energies.
I wonder what the Smithsonian is holding from Afghanistan.
Right, what it is, the secret mystery schools, they get targeted. So obviously that's why they're mysterious and secret and occulted. Now, they move around different locations through different eras and ages. Now, the last reported location for the mystery schools was Afghanistan.
You laugh.
Now,
JD Gorilla, are you how familiar are you with the occult?
Relatively, bits and bobs.
Yeah,
I know who runs the world. I know a little bit about the Jesuits and Freemasonry, Illuminati, all of them.
Yeah.
All right, let's start the swab show. The Soviet Union is replaced by Taliban this week, okay? This is Virus Man's first offering. When you defeat the greatest military force in the world and discover a cure for COVID 1984 in the very same week, just by smashing a Western TV, capitalist pigs. It will start nice and easy. Up next. When you reincarnate and repay your heavy karmic debt to the Middle East. I'll just let everyone just ponder on this one.
Wow.
Virus Man's not fucking about.
No, he's not.
Right, next. Terrorism in 2001 compared to terrorism in 2021. Yeah, that's not even funny, is it? That's quite frightening. Yeah, let me just get rid of the.
Oh, there's my friend in that picture. You know,
who's that?
May, Helen.
This lady at the front.
Yeah, man. West Papuan. She's a West Papuan revolutionary.
West is that a group of that's a group of islands off
West Papua. Yeah, is a country that at the moment is getting slaughtered by, I think, the Indonesians and colonized just like every other country has all through the years, but nobody even knows about it. It's happening in 2021.
I didn't know about that. You've just enlightened me there, mate. Thank you for that. Next up, Boris, Lord Potato Head. Passports for Afghani refugees. No. Passports for the sniffles. Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Now, we are going to be talking tonight, and I suppose grazing the subject of immigration, right? And I want everyone to take it with a bit of tongue-in-cheek, because a lot of the time we might be pondering what we're talking about here is not actually potentially refugees. So I just want to keep that in mind for anyone that's going to jump on, oh God, anti-immigration.
Racists.
No. Racism. Listen, it gets much more complicated than that. Okay. Hillary kill list.
Oh, she's my favourite.
We saw a goat herder in Afghanistan. You lost, bitch. I like it. Right, the Taliban are back. And the Taliban, hey, we've heard a lot of stuff this week. A lot of stuff. Many different things.
Oh, yeah.
We've also seen some pretty funny pictures, right?
Yeah.
We've seen some pictures of absolute buffoons going around in dodgem cars.
With their AK-47s.
Yeah. I mean, we don't like. Listen,
they were in the Palace gym working out.
Everything I'm about to show you comes directly from the mainstream media. I'm not endorsing the authenticity of any of this footage, any of these images. In fact, I'm going to be ultimately questioning it before anyone pipes up. It's like, oh, that's photoshopped. That's the whole reason I'm showing it, because everything here has been shown by the mainstream media. So please remember that. So the COVID fear is fading. Please release the Taliban. Release the Taliban. And this one here, I don't know who made this. This is quite good. Kellogg's Tally Bran, you'll shit yourself. Actually, this came from Jim Hunt in Canada. Big up, Jim. On the left, 20,000 Afghan refugees. Now, first of all, before we look at any of the numbers on the screen, the title says, the UK welcomed 20,000 Afghans amid Taliban takeover at BBC News. Now, I just read that totally straight. There's two ways you can read this. You could read it that 20 Afghans are coming as a Taliban takeover at BBC News, or you could say there's a Taliban takeover at BBC News.
Yeah.
Right? And then you look to the right, the moment the BBC journalist, Yalda Hakim, receives a call from the Taliban direct on air. What? So the Taliban have been given the number for the BBC to come through directly on air. Who organised this? Do you see what I'm saying? Right, JD Gorilla, how plausible is this, please?
Oh, mate, I can't. It just get out. You know. I don't even watch the news, bro.
Here,
I don't even watch it.
It's 9:35 p.m. Could somebody send us the number? We could catch the news at 10.
Yeah. Listen, if the Taliban can get a number directly through to the feed,
Right,
on
guys.
BBC.
There's 189 people currently watching this stream. If anyone can source us the number to call the BBC 10 o'clock news
Get
live.
some lumber at the same time, though.
Please send it to us, and we will do our best to get in contact. I don't know who's the news reporter.
All right, joking aside, let's take a look at the numbers. How many views has the YouTube thing got? 333. Well, okay, yeah, it could be a coincidence. How many Afghans are there?
There you go.
20,000 Afghans. What happens if you multiply 20,000 by 333? Any guesses? You get 666 million, Michael. Gosh. Anyway, we've got
if you look
zeros
next,
after that, then.
if you look next to the one day as well, put the one in front as the 1333.
Oh God, yeah, okay. Right, so there's going to be more numbers coming up. Well spotted, JD. This is why we got you on the show, bruv. Okay. Mate, I'm barely started. Right, okay, so here's our first one. I mean...
I saw this.
I mean, this has got to be Photoshopped.
I didn't realise...
The Taliban not Photoshopped in there. Isn't this the White House?
But what's the red thing about the circle?
It's pointing out that there's a MAGA hat there, and the Taliban are sat in front of a MAGA hat. Right, which leads me on to the next thing. Oh, no, it doesn't. That's coming up soon. Right, so this is an official photo of the Taliban taking over. Okay. We've obviously got some remixes.
Biden there licking ice cream there.
Right, look carefully, because we're going to play a little spot the difference. Right, this is take number one. So obviously we've got Biden, Clinton, Bush Jr., but we've got Barry Totero there. What's different? Right, look at the reflection of George Bush. He's got George Bush Sr. in the reflection, and look in the background. Look in the background. Okay, right, you get me. Right. So, Vice magazine says the far right is celebrating the Taliban taking over in Afghanistan. This is a real screenshot. To be honest, the Taliban is epic, said one night.
What does that mean?
They're probably talking about us, aren't they?
What are they actually insinuating? That people...
What you think actual people... What you think the far right, real racists actually like the Taliban?
This is just...
What you think they like? You think the racist and far right people... Who's that? That's Tommy Robinson, isn't it? What, do you think he likes the Taliban? I bet Tommy Robinson is well pleased the Taliban are taking over.
This is just absolute lunacy which is being put out.
Right,
now.
Do you want to know something even funnier? Look to the
keep
right.
going.
Look to the right of the screen. This is a real Taliban profile on Twitter, right? This is the Taliban
military.
military.
That even allowed?
Right? There are loads of Taliban. The official Taliban thing is on Twitter, and Twitter say it's okay because they haven't broken any of the community guidelines yet. Last time I checked, they were the Taliban. Anyway, right, look what they're posting. That here on the right, you've got like a leftist SJW cuckmeister or whatever they're called, right? Your culture is racist, sexist, homophobic, anti-Semitic, and a threat to our liberal democratic society. You literally treat women like property. And the Taliban fighter's like, yes. We finished making dinner, Habibi, and all his harima behind him. This is an actual Taliban fighter sending a Chad Wojak meme on Twitter. Wow.
That's crazy. If you think about it, that's really crazy.
I mean, think about this. Think about this, right? The former president, like the former most powerful man in the world, is banned from Twitter.
Yeah.
While he was president.
Yeah, while he was president.
Yeah.
And yet the Taliban,
who are allegedly responsible for 9/11, are allowed to post. Allegedly. This is just.
It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, jingle.
Nothing like the smell of toasted rabbit in the morning.
Wow. So yeah, okay.
I'm hunting rabbits.
I'm hunting rabbits. Right, now time to get serious. Let's analyse some footage here, because everyone's seen this footage.
Yeah.
Everyone's heard the stories about running on the runway, trying to get on this Air Force plane.
So all the numbers I pointed out earlier in our private chat, all the numbers at the front of that plane, they add up to 33.
Why did you have to do that?
Oh, sorry, Lance.
Right.
I got you now, you wabbit. I'm going to blow you into a million wabbit cutlets.
Anyway, right, so thank you very much, Andy PJ, for ruining my story.
I'm sorry, mate.
This is the footage, right? I want everyone to watch very closely. I mean, to me, as someone that's into art, into photography, videography, and video editing, to me, although this is low resolution, it already looks quite off.
I've seen about 3 different versions of this.
Let's watch it. Don't need to hear it. All right. So that, first of all, here's the first problem. If these are people that we've been told are trying to escape the Taliban, why is this guy smiling for the camera? Why is this guy laughing? Okay, here's a few problems which I spot. Everyone's spotted this already. Yeah, this guy has become famous. Whoever this guy is, he's famous now, right?
I know why.
I want to hear your thoughts in a sec, Master Lee. Now, to me, I can't see any landing gear. I can't see any landing gear whatsoever. I see a lot of people obscuring the shot. I see so many people here obscuring the whole thing. To me, this looks very weird. The lighting looks a bit weird. It looks off to me. And when I saw this, I thought that this was fake. I couldn't believe that it was on the mainstream media. I checked, it's been shared by every mainstream media source.
Yeah, the gentleman waving his arms around, apparently he's the only gay in Afghanistan.
You saying he was doing that in a slightly effeminate camp manner? He was, what? This guy here?
Yeah.
He's the only gay in Afghanistan. Maybe in his tiny small village, yeah, and he's gone to Kabul to try and break out to the west, to the liberal west, where he's going to be accepted.
Look at this here, Lance. Look at the edge of the...
Everything to me, this looks wrong. Right?
I'm pointing at, guys. I'm pointing at the nose of the plane.
Video editor.
Get a cursor, Lance, just because they can't do this is what this. It just
what
looks.
They got.
Yeah.
Are they bin liners? Are they bin liner windows?
Yeah, that's the thing. Right, let's look at these windows very carefully, because in a minute I'm going to show you a photo of the real plane with this marking on. Because, okay, let's ruin it. Look, first of all, what's the numbers here in reverse, right? It's 9/11, okay. And when you add up every single one of those numbers, guess what it adds up to?
It's 33. I'm
33.
I'm sorry.
It's 33, yeah. Anyone that's been on the internet has already seen the memes. It's true, it does add up to 33.
But the whole thing...
And we'll invite Professor Wolfie on soon, because he's into aeronautics, and he's actually going to come and talk about the real plane.
Do you know what the other? Do you know what this
Wolfie.
reminds me of? The footage. It's nothing like the same footage, but the same obscurities when you look at the outline of the plane and stuff. Was when they were bored. Jeff Bezos and that were bored in their little spaceship. It just looked off. All the outside of the equipment and the
everything looks superimposed
and the apparatus.
to me.
Yeah, everything just looks like fake, like in a studio.
Yeah. I mean, people in the comment section, what are you guys saying? Let me put you on the screen. Are we reaching here? Does this look fine to you? I mean, I'm only a semi-professional video editor. I don't do it full time. But this, I mean, just from a light point of view. All right. So add up to 33, and it's got 9/11 on it. Right, here come the memes. These are good. I'm going to blow these up because there's a shitload of these. So yeah, we've got Borat there. Then we've got the Mankini remix with Abu Hamza. Big up Kieran Ross. So yeah, people are circling these windows. They look completely matte, like they're covered over with like a black marker pen or something like that. They're really suspect.
It just doesn't look real.
what's all this darkness here? We've got like maybe
Like,
6
'cause
men running
if-
here.
So if you look at the shadow here underneath the nose of the plane, okay, that's there's a shadow being cast there, but there would be some shining on the front the windows. There would be some, if it's glass.
Yeah.
Again, I'm no expert in
What are you saying, JD? I mean, does this look like?
It's from the sun. I'm quite
from
surprised
where
how
from
poor
where
it
I
is,
can
really.
see, from where I can see now, I can't tell. But when I've seen that exact same picture directly on my phone, it looked blatantly fake to me.
Yeah, it looks blatantly fake to me as well, mate.
There's another thing my missus showed me on Instagram where there's lots of blow up tanks and planes and stuff like that. It's mad.
Thank you for joining the Jumping the Gun on the Slideshow team with Andy PG, because I was about to show. Look at you guys! I spent ages on this slideshow, boys.
Sorry, Lance.
Listen,
Oh,
right?
mate.
Okay, step by step. I'll take. It's all right, mate. At the end of the day, it's better that you get it ahead of the game rather than we've got to explain to you, right? So, at the top, this is a picture of the real aircraft with these markings. This is at the top here. This is the real US Air Force plane. So look very, very
Air Force
carefully.
One.
It's not Air Force One.
It's not Air Force One.
No. This is a US Air Force plane with these real decals on it, and that is what it looks like in real life. That's real. Now here we've got the photo at the bottom, which looks, let's face it, quite different.
Hello, mate. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Wolfie, welcome. Can everyone hear Professor
Hello.
Wolfie? Welcome to the chat, mate. We've got you.
See him, Lance?
Yeah. We can see you. You can see us, but they can just hear you on screen. Can everyone hear Wolfie? Say hello.
That's awesome.
Okay, right. So can you see the screen, mate?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I can.
Right, give us your background and your expertise for you to chat on this subject, mate.
Okay. Way back in 1991, I joined Royal Naval Aircraft Yard as a Fleetlands in Gosport as an apprentice. So I was 16, 17 years of age at the time. I have been an aeronautical engineer. I studied a 5-year apprenticeship, a gilded apprenticeship, which is equivalent to a master's degree now in aeronautical engineering. I then worked on military aircraft, helicopters, Lynx helicopters, Chinooks, Sea Kings. All my life, I lectured at Arborfield, REME. I now work on top of the range business jets.
Okay.
I actually.
Right, mate. I think that's enough.
I mean, we can say he knows what he's talking about.
Right, yeah. You work in the aviation industry, right, mate? Can you just give us some of your thoughts of what you're seeing right here?
Well, I tracked this airplane actually, and I looked very closely at these aeroplanes, and there was some real significant issues. This is a real aeroplane, and I have no issue with regard to saying that this aeroplane it is not a decoy. I do not believe it is a decoy at all. And you can search this on the internet right now, right here and now. The serial number of this aircraft is 021109.
I've got it. This is your post here. I've got it on Facebook. Right. So,
Yeah.
So hold on. Can we go back? What? So this aircraft is a legitimate aircraft.
It does exist
This
in real life.
aircraft is a legitimate aircraft.
The numbers are legitimate on it.
The numbers are legitimate on it, yes.
So explain what
It
your
is.
screenshot is here, please, Wolfie. Can you see this? This is from your
Okay.
your Facebook post.
Can we
mate.
enlarge it a little bit, Lance?
I'm trying my best. 1 sec.
Yeah, Wolfie, just talk about your screenshot, please.
Okay, so what there's an internet site, and it's called Radar Box, or there's another one called Flight Radar 24. And these are public viewing, and you can track any aircraft in the world any way that you want, providing that you know the number and the prefix of it. And this is the registration number of that aircraft. Okay,
Right.
so I
Okay,
tracked
this is like the
aircraft.
DVLA.
Well, no,
Yeah,
they
it's
do
like
it
the
for shipping
DVLA.
as well.
Okay,
They do it
yeah.
for all sorts of transport.
Yeah. And aircraft release what's called a squawk. And what a squawk is a transponder message. And it tells who the aircraft belongs to and where it's going. So this is a real aircraft. And I tracked this. And about 5 days ago now, this aircraft was actually in St. John's, Canada. And that was its last known location. And it has not made a squawk. It's not changed location since.
So what you're saying is this is like an imposter as such.
So Wolfie, can we if we wanted to now, could we look up the tracking of it and see that it's still stationed in Canada?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you could.
It's
You
literally
could get on
there now.
Google.
Yeah.
You could get on Google right now and put those prefix in.
Would they be this stupid to
Well,
do
here's the
this
next
then?
question. If they have made a mock-up of this aircraft and chosen exactly the same decals, there is certainly must be a reason why they've chosen this aircraft, because we've just seen what the numbers are, right? Does this not add up?
Sure.
I think the detail on the photograph is too much for it to be a mock-up.
So what are you saying, that what in this footage it is the actual aircraft?
I believe that is the actual aircraft.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Well, let's go on, because I want to. I may have found a couple of things that you haven't seen. I don't know. Right. So these are the two pictures comparing it, right? And they're saying that they haven't got these two decals on here,
Unless it's not even in Afghanistan.
right? Okay. So this is a picture showing that actually the first camera shot was rubbish. It does have the decals on it. Okay, because this is from the same footage. It's a
What's the
screenshot.
decal?
These
Stickers and things.
Right, right,
stickers,
right,
these
right,
graphics
right.
here,
Okay, yeah.
These are showing the regiments that were flying in the plane, I would assume.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's actually debunked. They're saying because the second photo here doesn't have
Right,
the decals.
and then the other photo showing them, you can clearly
I can see
okay,
they're there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we've debunked that, right? But there is this thing of decoy vehicles which have been used throughout military history in various different forms. Some of them are inflatable, some of them are rubber. So it's a thing.
It's possible. I think it's possible.
Yeah,
But I think it's highly unlikely with this.
I'm putting everything on the table. This is a video of them doing it with inflatable tanks. So they litter the battlefield. So long-range scouts, when they look at the battlefield, they'll see extra vehicles and, might make a different plan of attack or whatever, etc. You can get the gist of it. So, yeah, subterfuge, bluff, ploy, device, hoax, trick. But let's come back to these numbers. And there's more numbers in here. This post I've had fact checked by Magix, and he says there are definitely, although this isn't 100% accurate, there are at least 3 33s in the story. Apart from the 33 on the side of the plane, this is what this guy says, Connor Paganini. The Taliban takes control of Afghanistan as Al-Qaeda and turns 33 years and 3 days old, and exactly 33 months and 3 weeks after the founder of the Taliban was released by request of US government. Also, the Taliban conveniently timed their capture of Kabul exactly 33 years and 3 months after the Soviet Union withdrawal from Afghanistan begun. And it happened this is week 33.
And that is literally fact checked this
That's not week
afternoon
33,
by
isn't it?
Magic.
Who said no? That was from something else. Yeah, no.
This is all legit.
He basically checked this out. No, is this week 33? Yeah, this is week 33. This happened in week 33 of the year. What am I talking about? It's 52 weeks in a year. Yeah, Manic told me that. Big up MC Manic. So there's actually 4 33s in the story. So it says here, we're just going to ignore the blatant lie about 9/11 on the plane, a 9/11 plane pictured with Afghans, and a story about the Taliban. I have a feeling there's some kind of ritual going on here. I'm not saying whether this plane is a decoy or not. I think there's something wrong with the footage. Let's
Can
talk
I
about
elucidate something?
Yeah, please do.
Right, this might be, this is very useful. Now, so we're all in the pursuit of truth, yeah? And reality, yeah? Now, according to the mystery schools or occultic groups, in order to experience or to find... Is there some background noise?
One sec, I think
Wolfie
Wolfie's
might
having
be
some
saying-
conversation in the background. I'll turn him down. Carry on.
Right, yeah, so we're all here to discover reality, the truth. Now, according to occultic groups, mystery schools, so on and so forth, it's commonly known that in order to do that, you have to be put into a realm of pretense. So you can only find out what's real when you're surrounded by, or you explore the pretense. So what we're actually witnessing is a pretense, like a show, like
Absolutely, mate. You smashed it.
So it creates a contrast, because think about it, you can only know what the truth is if you experience the lie. So we're literally plunged.
Excellent.
Sorry, I had to do that.
I just think this is just so fucking blatant.
Yeah, but they have to do it. It has to be
I
done.
mean, yeah,
Do you think this is part of the apocalypse in the Guardians? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, it's the best apocalypse ever.
Yes! Wait a minute, new jingle, wait a minute.
Summon your inner Statham. Inner Statham. Inner Statham.
Statham.
Mate, I love your new microphone word.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Can you do
Hey,
some
look
more
at that.
voiceovers for us?
We're all doing,
do some
we're all doing
real
new
slow.
mics, eh?
Alex Jones style. Just can talk freely now.
Do a Klaus Schwab.
Klaus Schwab.
Welcome back, Word Nerd.
Welcome
So let's just have some thoughts from you on what went down in the mainstream media this week regarding this this Kabul situation. Is it another 9/11?
Well, it's obviously not in that severity, but like this, it looks like every false flag I've seen. It doesn't mean there's not a real crisis going on, but this footage is kind of crazy, yeah. So I'm still looking. I've been looking at everything you've talked about so far, about a decoy plane, potentially some people thought it was inflatable, but the running and the smiling doesn't seem in correlation with potentially some people genuinely trying to get out of the airport, which was happening as well, I think. So I'm trying to work out if it's a complete shit show or if there is a serious crisis that's being covered up now with, because it's normally multi-layered, isn't it? So I'm trying to work out.
Yeah, there's always multiple things happening at once, mate. Always.
Right.
You've hit the nail on the head there, and that's why I've presented this slideshow, because I want to put it all on the table. So right now that I've got everyone assembled, like we've got Wolfie.
Do you know what I'd love to hear from? I would love to hear from a military dude on the ground in Kabul. I would love to hear.
Well,
actually
listen,
what
I've
is going on.
had people in my comment section that are Marines and para related, and they've questioned what I've been posting. There's like, I've got two paras.
Oh, really?
They said I've got two paras at that airport. It is a shit show. I said that's great. I'm not contesting that it's a shit show at that airport. All I'm contesting is the authenticity of what we're being showed in the mainstream media. I want to be very clear. Yeah, this is very important, actually, because what we're about to show you is actually quite disturbing, right? Because I edit videos, I look at video footage all day long. I study deep fakes. I study levels much deeper than deep fakes, thanks to people like Human Vibration who have shown us that technology. And I'm about to show you some videos that might be a bit iffy, well, they might be very upsetting to some people. But so there's a bit of a trigger warning there. But okay, let's start off. Now we've seen that plane. This isn't a trigger warning. This one. This is a real. This is a video of that same plane taking off. Let me go back. Right. Now, if you see the landing gear, watch the landing gear carefully. It goes in. How far did that go in above the runway? That was literally 10 or 20 or 30 meters above the runway. Wolfie, could you interject there? That wasn't far above the runway. The landing gear went in, right?
Yeah. It's not very far above the runway. It's got a takeoff speed of about 100 miles an hour, this aircraft. It obviously retracts the undercarriage.
If these guys were apparently sat on top of this robotic piece of fuselage which covers the landing gear, we've just seen...
Exactly. They're going to fall down straight away within minutes.
Within minutes. Now, here is the official footage of them falling down, and if anyone is offended by this...
I haven't seen this.
Gutted. There they are falling. Now, that is how many metres in the air would you say that is, Wolfie?
I'd say about 500 feet.
500 feet. So would you say the landing gear would have been retracted way before this point of those two falling?
Yeah.
Yeah. And apart from the fact that they disappear, they disappear, right? Look very carefully.
Which is something I commented.
Yeah, this is from you.
Actually, but can you go back to the previous clip where you actually see the undercarriage retracting?
Absolutely. I'll go back. Now, you can just commentate here. Very carefully, look.
It's very technical.
Yeah, but this is why we've got to break it down. Look how high above the ground that was. What it's actually illustrating is these.
How it works.
Is the mechanics of who would be sat there, right, and how high they would have fallen off.
And the thing is, as well, you've got to remember, there's nowhere to hold on to.
Yeah, they would have fallen off about 50 metres max. If this is about 30 metres off the ground, it starts to retract.
Are we trying to say that they deliberately didn't put the landing gear up because they were trying to save the refugees that they knew were hanging on at 400 feet? I mean, that's bullshit, mate. That's bullshit.
You can't fly the aircraft normally in that.
No, exactly. So
you're literally limited to about 160 miles an hour.
So these people are dropping off at 500 feet, and would you say it's absolutely impossible for them to have held on to 500 feet?
Totally impossible.
Totally impossible. Right, this is why I've had you on the show, mate. Right, up next. Now I'm going to show. This is a piece of footage which apparently, this is apparently out the window of the aircraft. Right, so on the right hand side of the screen, that's apparently a person caught in the undercarriage. Look at the way the legs are flailing around. That's a doll.
That is a doll.
That's a rag doll, mate.
Or some clothes, like which are trapped on there.
Yeah.
The thing is, as well, you can't cling on there. Even if you got your hands stuck in there, the doors wouldn't close, and therefore warning lights would go off. The flight would be aborted. It would come back down and land.
Yeah.
if it did damage, it would slice like a pair of scissors.
Okay.
Chop a limb off or something like that, and then it would fall down anyway. Sure. The only place on that side of the aircraft, the starboard side of the aircraft, to hold on, is the APU exhaust, the auxiliary power unit exhaust, which is that silver area with a hole in it, just in front of the rear undercarriage on the right-hand side.
What would happen if you held on to that?
If you're flapping around like a rag doll like that, I think you'll be pretty unconscious, really, and you wouldn't be able to hold on for very much longer.
Is there any output from that exhaust? Is there any fumes coming out of it or anything?
Not once the engines start. It's only started up, so you can start the main engines, and then it shuts down again.
And would it be hot?
It would be hot, very hot.
Okay, the next video I'm going to play is also from you, Wolfie, I believe. Oh, no, actually, someone else sent me this. This is the footage of someone on the runway that runs up to one of the bodies that hits the deck. I don't know if anyone...
I haven't seen this.
No one has seen this. They didn't tell you, right? So this now, if this is real, if this is a real person, this would carry a trigger warning. I don't think it's a real person. Here we go. So this is the person with their phone. I'll turn the sound off. All right, I'm just going to show you, this is real, but I'll skip forward because they're running along the runway. It takes a little while.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this.
Okay, here we go. All right, I'd like everyone to look closely. So this is apparently a body that has fallen 500 metres. Now, I've showed this to my dad, who's an ex-Royal Marines commando that's actually been in a plane very similar to this, been alongside them. Okay, he served active service. And he said that if a body was to fall out of a plane from that height,
which was demonstrated by their video,
and to hit the deck, what you would be left with, this is his own words, a massive pool of smashed up blood and shit.
So it wouldn't. I mean, there's not even any blood stains on the clothing.
It's not even the right race. Look at the colour of the skin of the dummy. This to me looks like a dummy filled with pig's blood or red ink.
Yeah, right. Yeah, look at that.
That's not real blood as well. You can see that.
There would be a massive splatter mark going out from meters. That's just fallen from 500 feet.
It looks like a rubber mask if you look closely.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's not real.
Comment section, people. Are we reaching here?
Real, I agree.
No, there's no way that's real.
I'm calling bullshit, yo.
Okay, so that's it, right? Well, it's not that's what we've been presented with, right? And here are some stills. Does that look like a real body to you? Look at the feet. The feet would be smashed to pieces. They're just like there. That could be a ballistic. That could be a ballistic training mannequin that they use to test out weaponry.
Right, so they're saying that these are the people who've fallen like hundreds of feet.
Yeah, it's claimed that this is the person that fell out of the plane.
Look at what happens to someone when they fall from like a 3-story building. Right, it's worse than that. You know?
Yeah.
This is bullshit. Okay,
the head just wouldn't be intact. It would just be explode like a melon.
JD Gorilla, what are you saying? Are we reaching here, or does this look real to you?
Mate, I just know I'll never put anything past them. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. I mean, look, I'm not disputing that people could hold onto a plane and try and do that. I'm not disputing that they were thought, but to me, this is like it's just too obviously fake. It's too obviously fake.
Well, there's something more along with this, because while I was tracking these aircraft, which we know 02119 is 1109 is that aircraft in the picture. We know that.
Sure.
But 010186 is the aircraft which had the record for 600 people on board. Never been done before on a C-17. 600 people before flown out of Kabul. And you can look at that on the internet. And the serial number of the aircraft is 010186. And if you then look at Radar Box, it gives you the actual flight route and where it's been, what it's been doing, and it tells you it was in Kabul. It went to Pakistan. It's now left Pakistan, and it's now in United Arab Emirates. So we know where that aircraft is, and that's the aircraft which flew out, which I would say dropped that dummy onto the ground.
With allegedly
this original aircraft,
600 people on it.
Yeah, this aircraft we see on the very left-hand side, 1109, it's not even filmed on the same day.
Say that again. It's not even filmed on the same day.
On the same day, I bet it was filmed months before, with the only gay in the village going, "Hi, Mum," to the camera crew.
Right. So this again. I did say earlier.
I don't even think.
I said earlier, when you said that this was last seen in Canada, maybe this footage that we're seeing isn't even in Afghanistan.
Right. Here's a good point.
Like Wolfie's saying that this could have been footage could have been from months ago.
Well, to me, it looked like cut and pasted footage. Do you know what it looked like to me? Have you ever seen those videos of the Indian people on the really overcrowded trains? And they're running towards to get the train. Some of them are climbing on. Some of them are waving to the camera. To me, it looked like a couple of different pieces of footage actually cut and pasted together.
Mixed together.
Yeah. So this could be actually envelop everyone's theory. It could be that plane from another piece of footage that's old with something else cut and pasted on top. But it doesn't explain why the windows would look so matte. Wolfie, have you got any ideas? Let me just go back and find that.
Yes, they're ballistic covers.
Right, okay. There you go, because there were militants licking off shots not too far away from this.
Well, if there were militants knocking off shots, then why is there a camera crew there? And why is there the only gay in the village going, "Hi, Mum"?
That's very true.
Yeah.
We are led to believe this is filmed on a camera phone.
So maybe
Okay,
this,
I'm
maybe
playing
this
devil's
is
advocate
two bits
here.
of footage sliced together.
I think it's much more than one different thing. And as we find, right, in the apocalypse or the COVID Union or whatever going on Clan World, when we look at things and we try to analyse them, when we get caught up in the detail or the rabbit hole, what you actually find at the end of the day, it's more than one thing.
For
Usually
sure.
more than one thing is true. 'Tis the way of the apocalypse.
You know what the real question should be?
Go on.
The real question should be, do people care? Think about it. Think of all the people that have watched this stuff on the news, and not necessarily. They probably don't have an opinion at all. That is concerning. Like, they don't have the capability of critical thinking.
Well, okay. Well, let's ask the
Yeah,
question.
right.
Let's ask the
Absolutely.
question. Why is this picture being painted? If it's false, right? Because in a minute I'm going to question who was on the plane. Okay, whether it was really refugees or translators or whatever. Oh, we've got one of the little boys escaped.
Yeah, she just took my mate away from me.
Oh, Hermes, take him
He-
back.
he was
You've appeared
chilling.
the Empress has been on camera for the first time ever.
He was chilling, wasn't he?
Right. Okay. So yeah, why were they painting this picture?
It's not his bedtime.
Now it's time to go a little bit occult. From 9/11 to 11/9. Remember the number on the start of the plane. When the planes hit the Twin Towers, what did we see? We saw Americans falling from the sky, plastered on the TV. That was when the Afghanistan war begins. And when the Afghanistan war ends, we see the US plane 11/9 leaving Afghanistan, causing panic, and we see Afghans falling from the sky. I mean, what can we say about this?
As above, so below.
Boom.
Broadcasting across the entire crater realm. #VagLife.
Yeah. So listen, I mean, listen. Well, on the right-hand side of the screen here, we have a similar occurrence with some numbers. When World War I started, it was when Archduke Franz Ferdinand was murdered in a car, and the number was quintuplet 18. Right. World War I begins. When World War I ends, the armistice begins on 11/11/18 at 11/11. Right? Can everyone see the as above, so below thing here? These people have been conducting this for every war.
It's literally
throughout history.
it's transgenerational. This is what we've been saying on the show right from the start.
Anyone can fact check this. It's real. It's true. We just counted 3 or 4 33s woven into the story already. If that, I've already said before. If you see 2 33s, if 1 33 ain't enough, when you see 2 in one story, you know that's the
It's
mark.
deep.
You know that's the mark.
It's all linked as well. It's like with someone might have to fact check me on this, but I believe I've checked before that Adolf Hitler supposedly died on such and such a date on a black moon. His body was never found, and then Osama bin Laden died on this exact date on a black moon, and his body was thrown out of a helicopter.
Never found. It dumped into the sea, which breaks Islamic law. JD, I don't doubt it for a second. You know what? Throughout the first lockdown and throughout the first year of the Soviet Union, our team, we were pretty much able to accurately predict when lockdowns would happen and be released just by watching the lunar cycle watching when these the Hunters Harvest Moon, that when the lockdown came on October 31st, this is how I sort of went a bit viral last year. I was very vocal. I was like, I guarantee on October 31st, on All Hallows Eve, on the Blue Harvest Hunters Moon, a very rare event, hundreds of years when that event happens, I guarantee that's when it will happen, and or when it will be announced. And yeah, lo and behold,
sure as night.
Yeah,
there it was.
No, we did it again this year, didn't we?
We did the.
It was the hunt. It was a flower moon.
That's
the seed will be planted. For when they were saying, will Freedom Day happen on the summer solstice? Because again, it's summer solstice, Freedom Day, right? And I said, oh, I reckon it will be announced. The seed will be planted on this date, and it was under a flower moon.
Flower moon.
And it's when Boris said, "Looks like Freedom Day won't happen on the solstice," and it's just like, come on, it's too easy now.
The occulted symbology of this is the fall of man.
Can you elaborate on that?
Which aspect
Is
of
that
this?
what the hanged man symbolism is about?
Are you talking about what we're talking the Kabul situation?
Well, 9/11 as well.
Okay.
If you did a bit of research, you could probably find similar images of people falling.
People falling, man falling, the fall of man, right?
Yeah, the falling man. Right, so let's go on to the next subject, because after I finish this slideshow, we are going to open up the phone lines. Sorry, Inner Guardians. Go on.
Yeah, so if you take it a step further, the fall of man. Fall as in FOOL.
Fall of man, yeah.
It's a mockery.
Okay. Yeah. I get it totally. I see the symbolism.
And we all know what's coming in the fall.
Yeah.
Locked down, motherfucker.
The Soviet Union, Season 3. So, here are some other pictures presented by the mainstream media. The left is one of apparently that plane. This is apparently the narrative we've been presented. Okay?
With the 600 people.
The plane that we just saw with the 33 and the 911 on it, which was super duper questionable. This is apparently a shot from inside. And the juicy bit is deliberately obscured. So just have a look at that shot. See what you think. On the right is a funny meme. Citizens from Australia and New Zealand trying to board planes to Afghanistan for more freedoms under the Taliban. Because as we know, big up all of our viewers down under in that part of the Crater Realm. New Zealand, Australia. We feel your pain because you guys are having it hard. New Zealand, they locked down the whole country over one, 2 or 3 cases.
Well, don't forget.
A few new cases.
It's as above, so below, isn't it? So in the northern hemisphere, it's nice and relaxed at the moment.
Yeah.
The southern hemisphere, it's all fucked, and then it's going to be vice
above,
versa.
So below.
Yeah, I mean, I know where this is going.
Okay, here's the next one. Here's another shot that was I don't know if this was shared by the mainstream media. I guess it was. Yes, it was. It was memed. O2 customer services lads going on a holiday. Yeah, okay. They all look very clean shaven. They don't look like they've been. I guess they look like translators. Okay, that's plausible, right? But the only problem is that if you reverse search this image, it's actually from 2018.
Oh,
damn! Thank you very much, Master Lee, for this elucidation. Right, let's go deeper. So. Here's the picture inside. Is it a C-17, Wolfie, this plane?
Yeah.
And
C-17 Globemaster.
Isn't 17 sort of half of 33?
Oh, come on.
Oh, look at that. Damn, son.
Yay.
Right, so Wolfie, this is where you come into the picture again, right?
And C is the third letter of the alphabet.
Someone on Twitter has reverse searched the image of inside the C-17 with the 33 and the 911 on the side reversed, inverted 911. And apparently, this is an old image that's empty. And if you look at the lighting, now I don't know what to think about this. Holy fuck, I did it. I found the original image. My alignment is a little off. Can someone fix it that knows more? Now, how many photos from that point of view have been taken inside these aircraft? That's the first question to ask, okay? So there's a few questions on the table here with this. But all I'm going to say is, if I blow this up a little bit more, we could do with Magix. Magix, are you in the chat? No, Magix is producing from remotely.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, wait, what happened to JD? You there? JD, what happened to you? Did you get knocked out there?
No, I'm still here.
Oh no, sorry, I've just put your screen. On that. I'm getting confused on the green room. Right,
there's a lot going on.
So there's a lot, mate. There's a lot going on the screen. If you could see what we could see when I'm cleaning windows. Right. So this is the image. It looks weird. If you zoom into the back of the image, apart from the fact that a lot of these people have different colour to them, I don't mean the colour of the person, I mean the colour of the shade and the tint on them. Some of them look in monochrome. Look at the back. What the fuck's going on here? Right? These people are sat on the ground. Who's this guy? Who's this guy here? He's a bit big. What's this?
The big black box.
A big black cube, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now let's go back, okay? Because in this image here, the big black cube is obviously not there, as the big dude isn't. Right? And big up Tayshawn Lawrence, who I hope is watching. He's been on the show a couple of times before, because he alerted me to this properly, really. This big dude here, I mean, how big is he? Could he be standing on something? I don't know. What is this? Is this the Kabar? Is it what's inside there? Osama bin Drakel Stan? Like who's in there? Right, okay. This is what evangelist Lawrence, as he calls himself now, red-haired Nephilim from Afghanistan many, many years ago took out an elite team of soldiers to execute it. I've seen the video of the interview of those soldiers. I believe this is real. Now, with Photoshop of the videos and photos emerging from Afghanistan lately, some pictures of 8 to 9 foot people within one of these photos. What if they were using this as a guise to transport the other existing Nephilim giants around the world under the cover of refugees for the correct time to release them? He tagged me in this for a reason. Now, I've got a little zoom in of this guy here. The people sat in front of him are blatantly not small children. They are fully grown adults. They look like Mujahideen fighters. If they're sat down, how tall is this guy? Is he 7 foot tall?
I'm just going to play devil's advocate for 1 second.
Yeah, but also we're trying to say that it's possibly photoshopped as well.
Yeah. So if you look at the size of his head, just look at his head. And if you look at the size of this dude's head, it's not really that much bigger than another dude's there.
I don't know. Look at the right.
It might be a little bit bigger.
This guy's head here.
Might be a little bit bigger.
This guy's head here is at least twice as long. Look how big his torso is.
Maybe
This
it's
is
I'm just looking at the heads.
Hey, I'm going to go back. Right, here's the original image. Here is the guy.
Yeah, the dude looks big.
He looks big, right? Now, if we're trying to say that this is a photoshopped image, why have they deliberately photoshopped in the Kabar or the Saturnic black cube and this Nephilim giant? What's going on? Why would you do that? Has anyone got any ideas here? Am I reaching? Are we crazy?
This. Come on.
So, someone else, please talk.
Master Lee, what do you think?
Symbolism again.
Is this part of the mockery, Master Lee?
My take on it would be that they're symbolizing etherical substances and things like that.
So this has been shared by the mainstream media. This is an official image.
Yeah.
Are you trying to elucidate that they have deliberately photoshopped in someone that is of an abnormal size, i.e. this might be a hybrid, half-breed Nephilim person or a giant or whatever, to actually as part of the show? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, well, they're trying to tell us stuff. So maybe they're shifting some kind of jinn or something, maybe.
Yeah, right. Okay, glad you said that because that's going to come up in the customer services section. I made a post about the jinn this week.
Can I ask, what about right in front of the satanic box?
Right, what's this? And look at the side of the
looks
box.
Looks like the Grim Reaper, like on the slant.
These look like.
I thought, you know who I thought? Sorry, you know who I thought that looked like?
Go on.
Remember the 2012 Olympic evil thing that was on top of the
yeah, for sure.
Mate, you just smashed it.
Boris was there and
for sure.
Yeah, the Boris Reaper from the 2020 Olympic Games. Yeah, shit.
So what's the deal here? Like, what is that?
Well, look at the side of the box. Look at this casing. That is blatantly to slide big poles in to carry the box. Who the fuck's going to carry that box? If you slid a 100-meter pole, yeah, thank you, Master Lee. You always make me look less crazy.
A few giants.
Well, this guy looks like a meager giant compared to someone that's going to carry that box.
So I wonder what's inside the box or who's inside the box.
I don't know.
I wonder if
anyone's seen the strain.
I'd like to pose an alternative viewpoint on the picture of how.
I wonder if the people that carry the box are inside it in this picture.
So, I want to. Yeah, I like. So, I want to.
I'm a beast, please.
I wanted to suggest that maybe they're on a lower level platform, which is why they appear so small, and he's on a maybe a tiered staging, like, you know, if you look at it, and then that he would appear, especially if he's wearing the robes, you know, so he would appear to be a lot bigger than he is, giving him dominancy over the people he's supposed to be overpowering.
Or maybe he just had too many gin and tonics as COVID Union defectors.
COVID Union defected gin and tonic.
Is probably in the box.
Yeah, this guy's just like a gin sort of like
keeper.
To be fair, could you keep a gin in the box?
A gin merchant.
Well, a gin is supposed to be a non-physical entity made of like smoke, a smokeless fire, right? That's what the Islamic faith believe, right?
Hang on. So maybe that could be contained within a soul.
Well, it has to.
I wonder who's in that box.
Maybe the box is a portal to bring forth Jinn. Ooh. Right, okay, so...
Jinns are way more powerful.
Okay, that's actually the end of my Afghanistan slideshow, right?
I bought my dad some mulberry gin the other day.
Did you?
And that's a wrap, folks. We will be back on Thursday night
with another rerun. See you then.